What's up, YouTubers? This is the Rugged Man with Rugged Man Reviews and Tips. Today, I'm going to show you how to change out an outlet. For this job, you're going to need a new outlet. You're going to need a 6-in-1 screwdriver. You're going to need a DVOM, also known as a digital volt ohm meter, or an electrical tester, and preferably if you have an outlet tester. This is the outlet that we're going to be changing here today. The reason we're changing this outlet is because there's actually something broke off inside the ground. Okay guys, if you're not comfortable working with electric, maybe it's best to call a pro on this one. We're going to shut down the breaker when we do this repair, but that's not a guarantee. You have to still be cautious, and especially if you're not shutting off the breaker, you're going to get zapped by 120. Now 120 doesn't hurt too bad, but it can definitely kill you if you're not careful. So if you're not comfortable with this, please call a professional. Step 1, plug in my outlet tester. These two yellow lights being lit up means that this is a live outlet. None of these lights should be lit up if it's dead. I'm going to go turn a couple breakers off while I leave this plugged in here, and when these lights go out, I know I got the right one. Your breaker panel should be labeled something like this, usually on the inside of the door. But it's not going to say outlets, it's probably going to say lighting. I have multiple ones lit up as lighting, so I'm going to try each of these until I figure out which one it is. First one that I tried, imagine that. Never usually works that way. Okay. Next, I'm going to remove this cover plate by loosening the one screw right in the center. Once you get that screw out, you can just pull that cover plate right off. Now you can see down the side I got a ground wire right here. It's a copper wire. It might be copper or green. This wire up here is actually white. That white wire is my common. On the reverse side, on the bottom side, I have my power wire going in. Now, some of these outlets might have more than one wire. Now, some of these outlets may be reversed, and they might have multiple wires coming to each side. If they have multiple wires coming to each side, chances are one's a power feed in, and the other one feeds power to another outlet in that circuit. But we're going to show you how to check this today. You're going to want to set your meter to 300V squiggle mark. What that actually means is 300 volts alternating current. Now, with your ground tied into your ground and your red connected to your power on your meter, you should be showing 0 volts to make sure that you definitely turned this one off. Now we're ready to pull our outlet out. We're going to remove this screw and this screw. With both screws removed, we should be able to grab this outlet and wiggle it out. We want it as far out of the wall as we can get with these wires, so make sure you give it a couple good tugs, and we'll go from here. Now this outlet does have extra wires like we were talking about, so what we're going to need to remember for right now is that I have a red wire on the black power wired side, and a white wire on the white common wire side. So white and white, and red and black. I'll show you how to wire these into this outlet. Alright, we're going to go ahead and remove our screwed in style wires, which is going to be our black power, one of the white wires on the other side going to the common, and then our ground strap. They're all screwed in, so we're going to unscrew them and screw them into the new outlet. As you're unscrewing these little side post ones, they will hit like a spot where they feel like they don't want to come out any further, but just keep twisting on it pretty hard and these screws will come totally out, as you can see down here on the ground. Now that we got our black power wire, white common wire, and copper ground wire all removed from the old outlet, we're going to wire these into the new outlet by unthreading the screws on the side of the new outlet and threading them through the loops on these old wires. We're going to leave those 2 extra wires I told you about on this other outlet until we get done with these. So just like I told you, with these little screws on the sides, taking them all the way out, you kind of hit a little tough spot. Well, getting them back in, you have a tough spot too, except for it's right when you start to get the screw threaded. Once you get it in there, it goes in perfectly fine. Might be a little frustrating your first time, but after you do this once or twice, it's quite easy. Now, these extra wires on this old outlet, they're actually in what we call a push-in slot. They're not actually threaded into the screws on the side. So if you see that little slot above the wire, I know the lighting's a little bad, I'm sorry folks, but if you see that little slot right above the wire, you can jam a screwdriver in from the side angle and actually free that up. You'll have to squeeze the screwdriver in and then kind of yank out on the wire. Usually, I use the wall to give me a little leverage when I jam my screwdriver into that side. Then I just yank the wire out. And just like that, they're out. Just throw that away. Now we're going to tie these wires back into here. There's little tiny loopholes right here and over here that they'll just push right into, and they'll kind of lock themselves in place. That's why it's called the push-in style. Now, like we talked about earlier, we had a red wire on the black side and a white wire on the white side. Reason being, they're basically treating this outlet like a jumper to all the other outlets in the room. So red tied to your black continues your power to all your other outlets. The white on your common continues your common to all the other outlets. And then the grounds are just tied in the wall, so you don't need an extra ground. Now I really wanted to try to show you this here. So all you're going to do, red on your black side, put it inside of the push-in hole and just give it a push and a wiggle. And it should go right in there and not come back out. White on the white side, same exact thing. Push it in there, give it a little bit of a wiggle, and it should go pretty much all the way into that slot with no exposed copper in the back except for maybe a tiny little bit. It's not really hard to do. The push-in style is pretty good. I don't like using it on my main power or common wires coming in because I like those to be sturdy. This way, at least I know I have a good connection at all times to my main wires coming in, and if I have a problem with another outlet in this room, I just got to check these wires. Now that everything's wired back in, I'm going to tuck all these wires back in the wall. I'm going to be a little bit neat about it, and I'm going to tighten up those top and bottom screws back to the outlet J-box top and bottom, and then we'll put our cover back on. Check out how it works. Alright, well we got our outlet back in place. Now, we're just going to put our cover plate back on. We're going to put that center screw back in, and then we'll check out how the outlet works when I turn the breaker back on. Got the power back on, and it seems like our outlet's working. Now, because we did have those 2 extra wires in the top, I'm going to go and check the next outlet in the series and just make sure that that one's working as well. Looks like we're good. Alright folks, so it looks like we changed out that outlet successful. Now there is other ways to do this. Some people with these little side screws, they'll tell you not to take them all the way out. You can take them all the way out. Some people will tell you to unbend the wires from around them and then bend it back over with a pair of pliers. I just try to do this with the least amount of tools possible to help you guys out, because I know not everybody has the most tools out there. You can do it without having the digital Voltometer meter as well, because some of those are kind of pricey, but you can pick one up for like 15-20 bucks at the local store, so I didn't think that was too bad. If you had the outlet checker, you could do it with that just by itself. If you don't have an outlet checker, you don't necessarily need that either. You could use one or the other. I prefer using both just to make sure that I'm safe. Once again, thanks for watching, guys. This is The Rugged Man. I hope you liked the video.